Hey everyone, Talking Dave over here, the dorky talking black guy that's just trying to get by. And welcome to another edition of Street Fighter Flashbacks. In celebration of the 30-year anniversary of Street Fighter, I'm taking it upon myself to share my memories of the game in arcades and home consoles at that period of time, and review other Street Fighter related content in other media. You know, I'm 4 videos in and I haven't done one review yet, so might as well start doing the reviews and review the first movie adaptation, the 1994 Street Fighter movie. Alright? So, General M. Bison is the ruler of Shadowloo, a despotism nation in Southeast Asia that's in the midst of a civil war. The opposing rebellion is aided by a multinational military force called the Allied Nations, and the AN is led by Colonel Guile, who has given them their first victory in the Civil War by taking Shadowloo City. During the battle, however, Bison's forces were able to kidnap several AN relief workers and is holding them for hostage, demanding $20 billion in 3 days or he will execute them. Desperate to find the Shadowloo base, Guile recruits 2 recently incarcerated con men, to infiltrate Shadowloo, as well as join forces with a reporter and her crew who are highly trained in combat to take on the evil dictator. Guys, when I first saw this movie, when I first saw the advertisements for this movie, I was not impressed, and I hated this movie when I first saw it. In fact, friends in school were telling me to watch this in the movie theater, which I refused to do and everything. And when it finally came out on video, when I saw it, I went up to those same friends and I said, if I would have wasted money to see this piece of shit, I'd have fucked you up, 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 and everything. One of them took my challenge and everything, and I'm surprised that I was actually able to beat the crap out of him. Anyway, the point of the matter is, I hated this movie, and this movie was so bad and everything, I was furious. When I rewatched this for the first time in over 20 years, it's not as bad as I remember it. Oh, it's still bad, don't get me wrong. But, it's not the turd burger that I thought it was and everything. Now, so let me start off by saying that basically I will be doing an AA of this, and, but I'll tell you this right away, this is a terrible adaptation, but as a movie itself, was it entertaining? Well, that depends, there are some laughs you can have in this movie, for example, in the beginning, right, where Guile is trying to give an interview and everything, a live broadcast, you notice that he is not holding the microphone near his mouth and everything. He's actually holding the microphone at an angle, the wrong angle, and that's away from his mouth. So I'm like, couldn't they actually edit this to tell Van Damme yo, dude, you're not holding the microphone and everything, and it's easy to freaking notice, And by the way, it wasn't only at that scene that he was holding the microphone in the wrong area, away from his mouth. Freaking Raul Julia as Bison, he's supposed to be looking at a camera, watching Guile give the interview, but he is not looking directly in the camera. So, this is both bad editing, but hilarious at the same time. Speaking of which, there's another funny scene where basically, Guile actually, is interrogating Dio and Ken after they just got kidnapped. They just got arrested and everything. And he's trying to physically impose on both of them. I'm sorry, but the idea of Guile trying to physically impose Dio and Ken at the same time is hilarious. Oh, God. Oh, man. I want to know what they were smoking or what Guile was smoking. Ooh. And by the way, there was another funny scene where basically, Chun-Li actually, she meets up with Dio and Ken and everything, and Chun-Li asks him, "Don't you recognize me?" Because Chun-Li's a reporter in this. And then Ken was like, "You're a figure skater?" and everything, which is in reference to the fact that, like, she's Asian, and, like, basically, Christina Yamaguchi was big at the time, and she was a figure skater, and oh my god, that was a really ignorant and racist joke right there, now that I think about it. Oh, well, in the context of the movie, it was still hysterical. But the one scene that everyone laughs at and everything, that everyone remembers, is when there's a truck full of explosives heading towards, Bison's camp and everything, and everyone looks back and forth, and Zangief comes out and says, "Quick, change the channel." That was hilarious, too. Woo, and everything. So, one thing this movie does is it gives you some good laughs and everything. Whether they were meant to at certain times or not, that's questionable. But so, an entertainment factor, it gives you some good laughs, But it shows that, like, the creators did not try to take this way too seriously, which was both good and bad and everything. Which was another good point is they actually had some good actors in this movie. Sadly, this was the last performance of Raul Julia before he passed, and he was cool as Bison and everything. Of course, he handed up at some points, you could tell and everything. But what you call him, he was still basically like you can still get evil, maniacal, self-centered, and everything. He hit all the correct buttons and everything. You also had Studi in this movie, which I'm surprised they had him. For those that don't know, Wes was in Dances with Wolves. He was the lead antagonist in Last of the Mohicans. He was also in Al Pacino's Heat, and he was in Geronimo and American Story and everything. So this is actually an accomplished actor and everything who was at a couple of Academy Award ceremonies at this time. So I'm surprised that they actually had him. They actually had some also good character actors, like they had Miguel Nunez to play DJ. Some of you will remember Miguel as basically, he was the only black victim in Friday the 13th Part 5. He was actually one of the survivors in Return of the Living Dead. And he's most currently known as Joanna Man and everything. So it was interesting to see him as DJ. You also had I looked at Balrog, and basically I'm like, I've seen this guy Balrog before. And it turns out it's Graham Bush and everything. A character actor from a lot of 80s action movies like Lethal Weapon 2. He was one of the two FBI agents in the original Die Hard movie, and he was also a DEA agent in License to Kill. And it's like, oh wow, they got him. Oh my god. And there was actually a surprising performance by, Ming-Na Wen, who plays Chun-Li. Granted, her performances range from atrocious to decent, which shows me that basically, if she had a good acting coach, she could be a decent actress. I know she's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, but I don't really watch the show because the show doesn't gain much interest to me. Hopefully, her acting abilities have drastically improved. But you have a lot of bad actors. We already got Van Damme in this, who's a bad actor at that time. He's a little bit better with some of his stuff now, but he's still not great. But you got one of my crushes, Kylie Minogue, in the movie playing Cammy, and as much as I love her, she is god-awful in this. And if the Doctor Who Christmas special is any indication, she has not gotten any better. But one other horrible thing about this movie is the fight choreography. Guys, this is taking a game known for its fighting and everything, and your choreography is that terrible? Hell, some of the moves that they pulled off, like the Hadouken and everything, the Dragon Punch, poorly executed and everything. The Hurricane Kick was a laugh. Bison trying to do the Cycle Crusher and everything was just really cheap. Cammy even did a move saying thrust kick, and she's doing instead of doing an actual thrust kick, she's doing a side kick. Come on, And, so the fight choreography is terrible. The acting ranges from decent to horrible itself. Oh my god, and there are some really ridiculous scenes, like when Guy was pissed off at Chun-Li when he was trying to track, like, Bison and everything, and it's like, he got pissed because she did a poor job of it. It's like, wait a minute, how was she able to know what you were planning? And another scene with Chun-Li, actually, like, she obviously put a tracker on a getaway truck and everything. Like, how could people not see this and all? And, oh my god, Bison using the Street Fighter Control arcade stick to, like, kill Guile? What? Oh, man. So, yeah, there was, like, despite having some laughable moments, both probably intentional and unintentional, terrible fight choreography, a bad adaptation, lackluster entertainment, a waste of money and a waste of time, guys, the Street Fighter 1994 movie is whack. Agree? Disagree? Got any additional thoughts? Drop me a comment below. Give me a like. Subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. But until then, this is Token Dave, the dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. And I'll catch you guys later.